Hi Aurora, hi Gabriella, hi Arden. How are we doing this morning? How are we feeling? Arden, are you going camping? I'm so jealous. Okay, I just finished a breathwork yoga session, so my hair be a little wild right now. I'm so excited today. We're having on one of my, I would say like a dear Instagram friend. Do you ever have a friend that you've actually like never met in person, but you feel like you know them and love them so much? That's me and Michelle. We have her Instagram handle is Ms. Creative AF. And I don't even know how we found each other, but of course, anyone who has AF in their business title or in their Instagram handle is gonna make me obviously super feel like, yeah, we're kindred spirit. So I'm excited to have her on today for a bonus morning show episode. Yeah, you've been there too, Alyssa. Like, it's like I've never met you, but I feel deeply connected to you, and I feel like we know so many things about each other. And she has a podcast called Between Us Girls, and I actually was on the podcast interviewed earlier in quarantine, so that episode will be coming out probably pretty soon. And she is amazing, like full on life force, creative force of nature. She's a mama. She has a creative consulting agency where she does strategy consulting, coaching. She specifically works with people of color, women of color, to bring your message out to the world, bring your branding, your strategy. And she's just like a spiritually rooted, badass businesswoman. She's like multiple projects and podcasts. I'm gonna have her talk about them. I know the Between Us Girls, but she's always working on some interesting things. She stays really busy. She definitely has that high vibe hustle going on. So excited to talk to her. So any questions you have for her, especially those of you who are starting your own business or want help with your creative strategy or where do you start in this process, she's going to be a great resource that we can, she's a wealth of information and a wealth of wisdom, and she's really funny too. So we're gonna have her on in a few minutes. And then I also wanted to ask, how are we feeling? Because Mercury, I cannot talk this Mercury retrograde and retro shadow period. Mercury officially stationed direct late last night for us on the East Coast, and for you, last evening if you're on the West Coast. So how are we feeling? How is Mercury retrograde treating us so far? Yes. Aurora, tired and unmotivated is the thing right now. And I'll tell you why. One, the past few days we had the moon was in Taurus. I normally feel obviously everything from the moon. I'm a Cancer rising, so I'm super ruled and regulated by the moon. My chart is ruled by the moon. But the Taurus moon, I've never experienced. Like the past few days, I felt like I had magnets on my body pulling me to the earth. Like it was just hard to sit upright. And the unmotivated thing, I definitely want to touch into that. We're doing a thing in the Cosmic Boss where we're breaking down words and the meaning of words for Gemini season. And unmotivated. And I think that's fine. We don't have to be motivated all the time. We're not machines. We talked about the root of the word productive is like your output, what you're producing. It's a word that came about in the Industrial Revolution time of what the machines were doing. And we're not a machine. We're not meant to be productive and motivated all the time, especially right now. Shall we list all the planets that are retrograde? And we're in the middle of smack in the middle of eclipse season with this extra bonus eclipse. We have 3 eclipses this year. So I just want to chalk for us of when we're not motivated, it's usually a good indication that we're meant to be slowing down, just reviewing the essential things in life, taking it easy. So we have Pluto's retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde, we have Venus is still retrograde for a few more days, and then we have Mercury retrograde. And later this month, we have Neptune retrograde. So we have 5 planets retrograde, soon to be 6. That's all the planets because Earth doesn't go retrograde, and then the luminaries, the sun and the moon, do not station retrograde. So that's basically all of them, So we have 5 planets retrograde in this very moment. We're in the heart of eclipse season. We have not 2, but 3 eclipses right now. Everything is telling us it's like trying to move through mud or trying to run through water right now. We're just not really meant to. Water is sit back, float, receive, release, reset, relax. Like these words are so important. I just did an amazing breath work and yoga session with Colleen at Call Kel, and it was like, I was like, I feel really good right now. The second the yoga flow started and the breath work, I just started bursting into tears because I was like, oh, clearly my body had something to release that my mind did not even know about. So it's really important to make time for that right now. Reviewing projects, making things, doing things that feel like a release to you. And we're gonna talk about it. But the eclipse is coming up, and it's kind of right up against the summer solstice, which is very rude of the eclipse because the eclipse blocks the sun, and or like the eclipse is like the energy that's like getting in the way of the moon and the sun, and the summer solstice is like the sun's birthday. It's like the time of year to celebrate the sun. So there's a lot of like dramatic astrology happening right now. So I'm gonna do a post later, but just a reminder: take it easy, drink lots of water, slow down, don't charge your crystals. I'm so excited to talk with Michelle. You heard me hyping her up. She's my internet friend that I've never met, but I feel like I know her deeply. I'm so excited to chat with her about all of her amazing creative project she has. I see she's on, Michelle. So if you just want to request to be in the video whenever you're ready, we'll have you on. And like I said, she is a wealth of inspiration, spiritual wisdom, business strategy, marketing guru. She's a podcast priestess, all the things. So drop your questions for her. I know a lot of you are interested in starting a podcast. I'm sure she'd be open to answering questions from you. And we're also going to talk about the eclipses and retrogrades because as above, so below. We don't get to ever separate what we're doing from what's happening in the cosmos, right? Um, and so let's give her a warm cosmic revolution. Welcome, Ms. Creative AF is logging on.
Hey,
Oh, hi.
how are you?
Look at you and your peace sign earrings.
I am channeling my girlfriend, Coach B. She's a mental health professional consultant coach. So she always wears like peace signs, and she says peace every time she gets on her thing. So I'm channeling her.
Peace.
Coach B.
Peace, more peace. I love that. Just channeling, invoking peace in everything you're doing.
Right. I mean, because that's really what we're needing right now, too. I mean, listen to everything you're talking about. All this shifting that's going on is crazy. If you don't get your piece together, you'll definitely be off kilter. And I know last week I was like, I'm going crazy. My mom was like, you just need to get off the internet right now.
Your mom is so wise. Can we talk about how wise your mom is?
Absolutely. And I thought about what she said, and I think it's important for me to kind of be that presence, though, because I have a strong energy to bring to the movement that we're trying to create with the energy. So I'm here for it.
You're here for
I'm
it.
taking a step because I know I have things to do and I got to be in the right vibration for that. But I do like to go to where people are and bring them out of that, you know?
And you like anchor the piece. I like kind of the benefit and the balance of what you're saying. Like you want to be part of the movement, get your message out. But then to your mom's advice, maybe there's moments like, okay, it's like going to work. Like I did that, but now I'm gonna go and disconnect because the internet is just too easy to like follow it around you all day. So why don't you tell people a little bit, introduce yourself. You do so many things. I didn't even do it justice. You are like a Renaissance woman, creative Renaissance woman. So yeah, give the people your introduction, what you do, all the things.
All right. Well, thank you so much, my dear friend Maddie. I am Michelle, or Miss Creative. So I have a podcast called Between Us Girls, the podcast, but no longer is it one show. I'm expanding it because I really want to be able to create content that explains the need for us to be tapped into that divine feminine. And so Between Us Girls, I mean all of us. It's not just me and Maddie. It's everyone who is able to connect to source on that level. So I also have Creative AF, which is a consulting business. And with that, I help people grow their dreams, if you will. I sort of engineer for them a strategy that helps them execute what they would like to do. And because I love numbers, and I always see good numbers, and so I get pumped up.
God bless a goddess who loves numbers. I love that.
How I help people is like, I make them kind of define a number. Like, how many people are you trying to reach? Okay, well, then we know how many people we need to talk to execute it, you know, because that's just basic marketing. So it's sort of a creative marketing firm, but also there's a doula aspect to it. Thank you, Maddie, too, for pointing that, because I had never even considered that. But I'm helping you birth your vision.
Yes.
And that is what I was called to do here on this plane. So, like, I know there are so many people probably watching this that know me and are like, what is she talking about? Because this was never my lane, you know? But it has been redefined, and I did that for myself because I know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Yes.
And that includes getting on Facebook, checking people who are intentionally being obtuse. Hey, here's some information. Just read it. If you don't, that's not my business.
Right.
But I'm
educate yourself.
So,
Boom, done. I love it. There's so many things I want to talk to you about. I'm going to try and stay focused. I want to ask, what is your big three? Actually, I don't think I know that. Maybe we talked about it on your podcast, but you're a sun, moon rising.
Taurus, Gemini. So
Taurus, Gemini. Oh God, no wonder. I see why you're here to drop the mic. Okay, because that Taurus is, to me, is the rebel, the rule breaker. Everyone thinks of Taurus, I hate the Taurus stereotypes. Like, oh, they eat a lot. I'm like, no. They are here to build a new world, and they will just lovingly, graciously, but firmly call you out in your bullshit. And that double Gemini is that divine messenger, here to question everything and also keep changing and shape shifting, as it's not, nothing's written in concrete, it's written in sand, of there's evolution. So I do, okay, so you're double Gemini Taurus. This makes so much sense for you. Okay, so why don't I have so many questions? Let's talk about, how did you get into this? You were doing, I like how you're acknowledging your evolution into this this doula energy and into this spiritual creative energy, but how did you get started for people?
Well, I think you have to be able to do that. So I have some episodes coming out from before I was like, okay, let's put the concrete here, because I have to do my work, you know. So I want people to see that growth. I think that's important, because also that says, when I tell you I'm going to help you rebrand, I know what I'm talking about, right?
Ooh, walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Absolutely.
For everyone working with someone, whether it's a coach, consultant, healer, that's a good thing to check the receipts on. Do you walk the walk instead of just talking the talk? Okay, I love that.
Right. Are you on also? So this is going to sound...
Someone's FaceTiming.
Just do it, though, because here we go about stuff. So let's be cosmic. I can't really pinpoint what it was, because I know it wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do I need to turn the light on? Is it too dark?
I think you have a beautiful glow on your face, but you look good.
The sun is out there, and as you said, happy birthday. Let's let it jaunt and coast.
Showing off a little bit.
So in January of 2019, I had made some big changes the summer before.
Mm-hmm.
And in January, I just felt overwhelmed with the need to talk to the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
I was so exhausted in seeing everyone say, I don't support Black business because they don't provide, or they don't provide that. And so it affected me, because I am sensitive, and I just don't like to see other people being attacked. And I feel like a lot of time we're doing that and it's projecting, and I think that's wrong.
Yeah. So
my goal was to help them to help them polish themselves, so that when you come to, nobody can chop you up.
Ooh.
You've already got all your framework is there.
Okay.
So, and you know how to do your business. You know your target audience. You know who you're talking to.
Okay.
All that you really need to create a strategy to garner an audience or customers I want us to be able to give that to them, because I want us to save ourselves. So if we cannot support ourselves and spend money within our community, then we won't have one. And so that was really the mission. And so then it became, well, how do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I, because that wasn't what I was doing. So I had to kind of figure out how to do what I was told to do. And we can only say it was divine, because that's not what I was doing. But if I would have ignored that, I would still be doing the same thing that I was doing. And I'm about to elevate. I know this.
Yeah.
And bring everybody too. And I want to also make sure that that's respected. So that's why it's been tough for me to kind of solidify my place, because people are looking at me like, girl, go make a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, I'll do that. But I will also execute events. I will help you rebrand your business. Right. I will build whatever I need to build for, because I'm an engineer. And that, that's what I'm trying to do, is just really help my community, because that's what I was told to do.
I love that. Divine orders from source. Just like you're like, that's the only person I'm taking orders from, is that my higher self. And I like what a few things I just want to touch upon what you said that I think people would resonate with is, well, first of all, the strategy. And I think you and I are on the same page. To me, business is a spiritual practice, and business is a tool of the revolution. Like how we spend our money, how we make our money, who we're speaking to, how we're spreading our message. I mean, everyone looks to politics. To me, politics is a byproduct of what's happening in the business world, how we're spending our money, what companies are we supporting, who are the people who are the change makers, the visionaries, the CEOs. So for me, like, you can't ever you can't separate spirituality, business, and politics. I'm sorry. It's just the world we live in. It's all one big thing. So you can't say, I'm spiritual, I'm not into social justice, or I'm not into business. It's like, it's all the same thing. So for you, I love that you are helping encourage, empower, educate, and like kind of enable in a positive way, like this business as a way to change the world, and be like, okay, you have a business, here's the strategy, because we know that also nothing will test and make you grow spiritually more than starting your own business. And the other thing that you said that I loved in true Gemini fashion is, don't label me. Like, I think so many of these marketing coaches out there want you to like nail your niche and figure out one thing you do and do it well. And I'm like, to me, people like you, like people like me, like multi-passionate, multi-potentialite, you're like, no, I will have a podcast, I will have a strategy agency, I will do events, like, because that's actually like, you're meant to be here to do a lot of stuff. And that part of the Gemini energy is that we're in the North Node of Gemini for this next 3 years. I think we're going to have to question every traditional business rule we've learned, the really old school corporate patriarchal ones, but even these modern, like women-owned businesses that are saying like, yeah, I target women. And now you're saying, no, I want to target anyone who's open to the divine feminine, regardless of your gender. People say, nail your niche, do one thing. And you're like, no, like if you're here to spread a message and you have a lot of gifts, do it, expand, let that be alive to you. So I love everything you're saying, and I think it's very encouraging. I think my community here is a lot of people who are like you, who like want to do like 3 or 4 or 7 things. And I'm like, great, as long as you have your spiritual self-care practice down, your strategy, like your support network, go for it. So what would you, oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just.
Okay, I was just going to say, but we were talking about the divine feminine for between us girls. I definitely use the masculine energy on the other side, because I have to be strong, and I have to say, nope, we're not doing it that way.
Yeah.
I have to be viewed in a way people can respect me.
Mm-hmm.
Because they look at me like, oh, she's soft, she's a little damsel. No, we are here to work. And that's one thing I want more for our women, is to be seen as able. Like, we can do it. We have a brain. There's more than just, what you want. Because I feel like that's what I get met with all the time. It's like, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you rebrand your business. You think we're going to do it? No, that's not what we're here for. Like, we're going to do it, your work, So that's all I want to add.
Yeah, I love that. Making people just feel like, yeah, they're able. I think the balance of, yeah, the masculine and feminine is so important within each of us, especially from that higher vibrating source. So I was going to ask you, kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, what do you think, how do you think that spirituality and business are kind of connected through your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, I think you're talking to other humans. You want them to connect with you. But the way to do that is to hit them in the soul. And the way to do that is by tapping in. So when you can tap in and get connected with yourself and you start getting messages about your work, whatever you're focused on. So if you're focused on your business, it's going to be that. It will tell you when you want to reach your group, you say this or you do, because those people are looking for this. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm connected.
Okay. So I love that. And yeah, it's like,
Most people are like,
you like, you want, right. Like, this is not your average business advice, and that's why I love it, because everyone talks about, yeah, like, so what I'm hearing too in you, again, I'm just hearing so much of your Gemini energy. When you're connected into source, and that's what's telling you to connect into your audience and hit them in the soul spot and connect with them, a lot of traditional marketing and business tactics aren't going to work. Because to me, I always say to my clients, those are very flat. Like, they're just very flat. They're not alive. And you can't just plan out what I'm going to say for the year or the month even. And look what's happening now. Like, if you had a strategy a month ago, chances are you have to tune back in and say, nope, like, what should I be saying right now? What should, like, guide me, you know? And I don't want to say what everyone else is saying, but I want to say something from that place of truth and, like, tuning in. And so that is so important. Like, that's a great like, example of why, how spirituality fuels business and how business also kind of makes you lean even more on your spiritual practice. Um, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so I know that you have your podcast. Wait, hold on. I can't hear you.
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I know sometimes I go above and beyond. Like I do a podcast with two guys on Friday nights. It's called It's Real Talk Radio, and sometimes I'll say things and they're like, right. So like I don't take it personally because I just have to speak. So if it's, it'll land where it lands, and that's kind of the point in doing your marketing that way.
Yes.
Just speak. Who's supposed to hear that will.
Yes.
If you're consistently and you're sharing your message over and over again, like you're supposed to be doing, eventually it'll build that momentum enough to get to those people who are in that group.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, like, trusting what you're saying, trusting where it lands, because I think we're in a time right now where some people just are looking around to everyone, like, what is everyone else saying? Okay, let me just say that, and let me just say that, and let me just, like, do what everyone else is doing, and that's not really, like, how we move forward, right? Like, and you can just tell, like, it hits you in your tracks when you see someone who's just speaking their truth. Like, you're like, oh, like that, like, it's like cold water to the face. So I guess on that note, do you have any tips, since you are a podcaster, the podcasting priestess, you have, like, all these different podcasts. Do you have any tips for anyone who's starting out or wants to find their, like, start a podcast, find their voice, get their message out? What are some of those, like, any advice for people?
First, start. Begin. Because a lot of us are not doing it because we don't have the right equipment, or we don't have a few people already interested. We don't want to start at zero. Well, you're going to have to just begin. And just like with anything, because we're talking about alchemy, really, when you're building, you start. So I know I have recorded podcasts from my cell phone and uploaded directly to my RSS feed. You don't have to have a super good intro. You don't have to have all the things that you think you have to have. And this is for me too right now. All the things you have to have for whatever you're trying to present, you don't. You need to just put it out there to begin. Because the longer you do it, the better it will become. And the more you'll really realize what it is you want to say. Because with girls, the first thing I ever said was, okay, so this is the show. And we were all like, yeah, this is the show. And it was clunky, but we had fans and
Yeah.
we won awards and we
Wow.
got press and we did all these really amazing things, and all we had to do was just start. And there are so many people after that who are like, well, I'm inspired to do a podcast, but you quit at 20. You know, we made 100 plus before
Wow.
we stopped. So you can just start.
I love that.
And
Just start. Don't worry about what I'm hearing from you. Don't worry about having the perfect equipment. Like, 'cause I think that's a big thing, right? When people want to start their podcast, they're like, well, I need the $500 mic and the $1,000 producer and the intro and it's just start. And like you said, people liked it. There was fans because people probably were also like, this is really refreshing just to hear a group of people talking and it's not perfectly curated. And I'm like getting these downloads about whether it's Instagram or podcasts or YouTube channels, like the next level of marketing, like the curated, shiny, perfect thing is falling by the wayside. Like I think people just don't want that anymore because it's like it's so easy to do that. It's almost like just following a cookie cutter template, and just because you have money to do that doesn't mean you have the message. So I love like just start, see where it takes you.
And I think, and this is good. Maybe I'll do this. But with the newsletter on Between Us Girls, if you guys want to go to that website and sign up, I can start sending out some tips on how to get started,
Yeah.
What to do, how to move through any blocks you might have in regards to podcasting and media overall. Because, I mean, it's just not as difficult as we make it. And I do it to myself too. Like, I have how many episodes? 8 that I'm waiting to edit right now. So it's like, just start, get it done. The beginning is really the hardest part. Like, even my boyfriend Brian yesterday was like, well, just do 5 minutes at a time. I'm like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
So just 5. If you like 5, do 10. If you don't like either one of those, then go back to doing something else. But also, and I know you probably follow her too, Esther Abraham Hicks.
Oh, yes.
She always says, don't do anything unless you're in the right vibe. And I believe that too.
That is so true. That is so true. Because like there's been times where I'm planning like a launch of a product and then something happens and I'm like, don't go on and sell this product because the vibe's not gonna hit, you're not gonna reach people the right way. Don't don't get on to talk about your podcast if you just had like a funky moment. Like no, like center yourself. I love that because you can just tell. Like I think vibrations are so important when it comes to getting your message out, marketing, whatever you want to call it, branding strategy. Like it's all a vibration. I think people would really appreciate those podcast tips from that. So I think I'll link over to your website after this, but the Between Us Girls podcast email list, that would be amazing to get those tips because I think it seems really daunting when you haven't done it before. And we already have enough of our mental blocks around our worthiness, imposter syndrome, do I sound smart? And then you get like the whole world of technology in there, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
It's a lot. And I'll say that during retrograde, I always struggle with technology. I always struggle to record. I always struggle to edit. And that's why I'm doing the 5-minute thing right now, because I don't want to be sitting here with a plan to sit here for 2 hours and then all of a sudden the computer goes ching, 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 because that is what happens. And then I'm angry. And then I'm not going to edit. And then I'm going to go sit down and do something else. So
yeah.
I just assume if I'm not feeling it, if I know something's going to be funky, I just don't even show up for it. I'll be like, you know what, I'll wait on this.
Right, because that's, I think, just trusting that, like, your energy, listening to yourself, and also following, what's happening in the cosmos, as above, so below, like, knowing the things that are going to bring you stress or frustration, agitation, like, maybe you're doing, like, a 2-hour podcast and editing that during Mercury retrograde. Maybe it's a good time to review other podcasts you have and edit them down and just do little things versus, like, trying to launch something, and then you're, like, getting frustrated because things are crashing and then you're having a breakdown and then you snap at your partner and it's like, okay, like let's just listen in here right now. This is not the time to do that. So another great example of kind of the spiritual practices behind running a business and running a podcast.
Because I think the thing to remember is, yes, we are spiritual. We have spiritual practice. We do spiritual work, but we're human. So that means I get mad. I get crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't feel good. just like the rest of us. And like you said, it's important to be noting what's happening above us, because that will tell, maybe I didn't slam that door like that just for no reason. I need to check my this. Yeah. Or that's reminding me of this. I should probably go take a nap. Yeah. Or maybe I should go do some self-care. Anytime you're feeling bad, boom, self-care. Yeah. Or boom. That's how I operate. Mm-hmm. Music. I was gonna say, what are some of your favorite self-care practices right now? Makeup. Makeup. I don't have my nails painted, but usually I can gauge pretty well how well I'm taking care of myself by if my nails are done. Mm-hmm. I'd be a little bit of a glamour girl on the inside, but I think I always wanted to hide that part of myself too, because it was what was getting me made fun of or picked at, if you will. For being like, too like into beauty or like, I guess I was always called Hillary Banks and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not though. I'm me. But if I want to adore myself, if that makes me feel like my best self, why is that a problem for you? But that's always how it kind of was for me. So for a long time, I was like, I just don't want people to talk to me about it. Yeah. So I do it. But what does that do? It makes you feel bad, and then you're a self-hater instantly. Right. Yeah, especially if you're doing the thing that's trying to make you feel good, and then you internalize that as some kind of shame. I appreciate that you shared that. I was just sharing with my friend this morning how, we're still in quarantine here where I'm on the East Coast, and I'm like, I really do. I really miss getting my hair done, my nails done. And it's not about for anyone else, but it's just for me. My Venus is in Libra. So when I'm like honoring my inner goddess, when I'm honoring my beauty treatments, it helps me just feel like radiant. And I think that, again, our culture at some point kind of tells women that, like, you're superficial. They want you to look good, but not care too much about it. And like, it's this whole like lose-lose situation. And a few years ago, my cousin told me that like one of her teachers said that, a lot of the things that we do when we're little are expressions of our inner divine feminine or sacred masculine, and just wanting to adorn ourselves and have our outer beauty reflect our inner beauty is just like a totem of the feminine. Like, it's just fun, and it's creative, and it helps us just honor our inner beauty. So I would love to have a word with anyone who called you that. And also, calling you Hillary Banks, that's messed up. That's just like girl, they're rude. I mean, Hillary Banks is beautiful, but like, do not label me or try to put me in a box. And also, we know like her character was kind of shallow and stuff, so it's like, do not try and put that on me just because I want to beautify myself. Okay. Right. And that made it difficult for me to find the balance, because I was trying to be intelligent, yet I was also trying to be beautiful. And it's just, to do it like this, people are like, just back up a little bit. They just how dare you take up all that space with both of those things. But I have to. This is me. Just like you said, I came here to drop a mic. Yeah, I love that. Here to tell people, hey, this is what we need to do. So why not be that? The whole time I'm just, kind of stifling myself and not allowing myself to glow and be the God that I am. Yeah. And other people's projections to affect me, and to define me and let me feel like Hillary Banks or anything else that somebody else threw at me. But I'm not that person anymore. So that is why I'm able to say, okay, I'm Miss Creative, we're doing this. I'm also Michelle, and we're also doing this. Mm-hmm. And you tell me that there's something wrong with me saying, I have both of this energy, and I'm going to be able to produce from both of them. So that's kind of why I was like, for maybe like April to April, I was like, what the hell do I do with the podcast? Yeah. Because, it used to be a group. It's not a group anymore. I still want it to be a group. That's the thing. I still want it to be a group. I still want it to be a bunch of bitches, if you will, working together to put things right. I want us to, because women are going to do it. That feminine is going to do it. We're going to help move the shift properly, But we also have to get people in position to shift. So I'm trying to like do both, you know?
Yeah, do both and evolve and yeah, welcome in yeah, any of that just like femme leadership. I know that yeah, the waking up to the feminine is really important for all gender identities, which like I don't know how you define it, but to me the feminine is collaborative over competitive, honoring nature, honoring your natural cycles, therefore honoring rest, choosing to live in like flow versus force, living in the mindset that there's enough to go around for us all, honoring self love, honoring our intuition, honoring pleasure. Like, and these are things that we can all access no matter what our gender is. But it's like, this is sort of, I think, the antidote to the balance that's gotten so off, because I think if we were doing these things individually, we're not going to have as much of that lack mentality that forces us to oppress others or to benefit off of other people's suffering or to pillage the earth for things. Like it literally creates a mindset shift. But it does take a lot of deprogramming, obviously. And I guess on that note, like right now, in light of all of the events, everything happening in our country with racial equity and the Black Lives Matter movement, like, is there anything that like is feels really present to you right now that you want to share with people who are looking to get involved, whether it's women, people of color, or just aspiring allies? Like, is there something that you wanna say to them, like what's been coming up for you?
Definitely be using love. And I also have a mind of the way to kind of deconstruct the system. But there's so many, there's so many tropes, there's so many, so many. And the first one that I want to begin with, and I know that you can dig this because you probably fight against it too. The white damsel image, stereotype that came from that movie, The Birth of a Nation.
Yeah. Oh God.
That is killing us right now.
Yes.
Because that's who's showing up at the park. You see, that's showing up at the grocery store to check. That's who's parenting your kids for you when you're at the grocery store. Don't do that. Don't touch that. All these different things.
Right.
So, let's eradicate that.
Let's
eradicate.
For my fellow, as a white woman to other white women watching this, it's not cute. It's dangerous. It's violent, and it's we know that since that movie, which was like 1916 or something, that's been the nation, that's been the energy of like white women, like we need to be saved, and the moment we feel threatened, we know that authority is on our side, and we feel like we have that. And there's an Instagram I follow, Karen's Gone Wild, and if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, go to that Instagram and watch some of these white women, how they act and how they talk to people of color and how they manipulate the system because they know it'll benefit them.
Absolutely.
To continue.
And so, additionally, just let's look at ourselves and just like he said, the ways that the effect of racism and the system that we live in have imprinted upon us the use of oppression. So, like, and I was talking to my mother this morning, and we were talking about communication and just kind of how she always has been one to say, well, don't say that yet. And I have always been one to say, right now. But I think she was like that because of the condition of her environment, more than because she just doesn't have chakra.
But right, that's like ancestral throat chakra. Like to your mom's generation, it's probably like, don't say that because that's really dangerous to us. And just maintaining the status quo is the best thing we can do. And every time that you speak your truth, I believe that you're healing quantum, like healing for your mom and your mom's mom and your mom's mom who didn't first of all have a platform like Instagram and couldn't because of their safety saving. So that's a beautiful also way to acknowledge, because I think some people, I've heard stories, everyone's kind of looking at their elders right now or their parents, their grandparents on both sides of it, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're woman of color, and it's like they're kind of like, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you do something? Like, and some people did, first of all. And also, second of all, on both sides of the equation, like, there wasn't as much education, there wasn't as much empowerment. And, like, I think that that's, like, what our generation and the generation younger than us, we get to do this now. We get to do this. We have the
It's
tools.
our
It's our time.
we came to drop the mic. You know what I mean? We came to do this work. And I was even telling her, like, and I was picturing my grandmother when I was talking to my mom, because talking to me and telling me what she and my grandmother had to experience just because of poverty. I mean, and that's a thing that most people have had to have less than. But of course, this is a town where my grandma also worked as a maid for a white woman. So a lot that she was not able to do, but she was trying. And she still went out to work and still didn't have enough. You know what I mean? And of course, my grandfather was there and he was working. But everything, all the conditions of the way that my mom was molded just made her who she is. And I love and respect her. And I have to give her grace for all the times that she may have told me, okay, don't say that, or make sure you're dressed like this, or whatever it is. These are because she is trying to protect me. It's not her just on me because she hates me. You know, like, she thinks that's protection. And I just love my much, and I appreciate everything that she did for me, including birth. You know.
That's so beautiful. I do just want to, like, pause for a moment, like, and just sort of receive that, because, like, I'm sure a lot of, you know, Black women especially, and Black men probably resonate with that right now, that your parents had you not speak on something or not dress a certain way, not because they were ashamed of you or don't want you exercising your voice or dressing the way you want to, but they were just trying to protect you.
Right.
That's beautiful. And then she's like, well, you also are a double Gemini Taurus, so you're going to probably say what you want to at some point in your life, and now here you are with all your platforms doing your thing.
You know, I will tell you, Maddie, my mom told me that when I was born, and I tried to write all of this out in January 2019, but it was not making sense because I didn't have the rest of the pieces, you know. My mom said she looked in my eyes and she felt sad because I was wise there. And she was like, I just feel like you must have had to a lot of lifetimes. And I guess so. But I think we all have done that work, you know. But if this is my time to shine, this time here.
This lifetime, I'm here to shine. I already learned my lessons. I'm getting my blessings this lifetime, and I'm here to shine. You really are. Love that.
My moment of abundance, one of them, I want to share that. If I'm knowing the things that are coming and what we are needing to do, I have to talk about it. And I can't let that spirit of racism suppress my throat chakra and sharing the truth. Because when I'm talking about these issues, I'm not even talking about them from right here. I'm talking about it from right here because I'm looking at it from right here. And my dad, I guess, now I don't know if it was purposely, but by design, whatever, in an environment where I was only really with white women. So I know white women. So try to tell me I don't know about that damn damsel syndrome, not know me. Because I know them, you know, and at the same time, I have white women that I love. You know what I mean? So for me, I just feel like in order for us to really heal, it has to be on several levels. The Black community has to connect and make that unity. So we got to stop stereotyping each other. We got to stop oppressing each other. But we have to get together and we have to build this community, and we have to do it through teaching our kids what to do. But not only do we need to do that, white women, you need to be standing in the gap because you are children who need this information. So let us do our work to heal the trauma. You got to move our message forward because that's what I'm running into. Not running into, but when I have allies who come to me, they're like, I want to help. I don't know what to do. Stand in your space and correct racism. Stand where you are and affect that oppression. That's all you can do. Not become a Black person. And we're not acting. We just expect that we are also human. And
Mm.
the fact of the matter is that we don't even see ourselves as what we are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know but a handful of us that feel like a divine creator. And that's wrong.
Ooh.
Because that's what we're here to do. So that's it. And down at the 54, so amen.
Amen. I'm just like, just again, take a moment for all that to sink in. So perfect. So beautiful. Such a beautiful call to action. And I do just, want to thank and honor all of the Black folks, women, men, non binary, transgender, Black individuals who got us this far. And I think the conversations I'm having with white people are like, how did Black people know all of this for this long and just keep their head on straight? I'm like, because they are fucking magical and superhuman. Like, white people who are really opening up. I had the blessing of, like, in 2017 undergoing some of this anti-racism work, and I was like, you go deeper and deeper, and it's just a miracle that you're here and thriving. And so now you got us to this point. Now we get to hold and block down that gap for you, give you a break from the constant fighting through the barriers, and now you should be able to create and be in joy and have artistry and, like, take the lead on the creation, and we can take now some of the burden of the, like, that, like, frontline battle, like the correcting people, telling people no, calling people into the conversation. And, like, my intention would just be, yeah, for, like, the Black creators, leaders, artists, truth tellers to be able to, like, flow a little bit more now, instead of, like, this, like, forcing that we had to do for 400 plus years. So I love all of that. And I just want to tell everyone, you said about, like, we can't be Black. As, like, a white woman, I can't make myself Black. So I read somewhere about swapping white guilt, that word, for white responsibility. Like, taking it as a beautiful responsibility and like, it's an honor to do this work on behalf of, like, our Black brothers and sisters. And everything you just said, I'm gonna, like, rewatch that, because that was just, like, the internal, the external, I think, such a beautiful and refreshing vision of where we're going.
Well, they gave it to me, Maddie. I gotta share it, And I'm so grateful for you letting me have that opportunity to share that message, because that's all the time. And sometimes I get stunted, like I said before, in myself, because that's powerful words. And sharing them means I open myself up. But we have to do it.
You gotta do it. That's what you're here to shine in this lifetime. And part of that is being vulnerable. And you are shining. You are glowing. You got your peace sign earrings on. This is such a gift to talk to you. Thank you, Michelle. Before you came on, I was saying how you're one of, like, my favorite my friends, but I only know you through Instagram. So I hope that we can connect in real life soon. And are you taking on new clients under, like, Creative AF?
Absolutely. Before I drop my website, I just want to, if I can, plug a couple of things.
Plug away, baby.
Coming up, we have a Zoom Juneteenth Ally Award. So, like, they're going to give some information about what Juneteenth is. And if you don't know what that is, you just should check it out. It's going to be for the Center for Healing Racism here in Houston. Sorry, I'm, like, reading the comments as well. And I have links on my Facebook. So Michelle Roy, MICHELROY. And then also there's a petition for down in Galveston, which is the birthplace of Juneteenth, to have a monument taken down there. So if you would like to sign and be a part of it, if you can't come down here and do the work, you can always participate that way. Also, I will have those links on my Facebook, Michelle, MICHELROY. I work a lot there because I can write. And, that's part of my gift, is the writing.
Yes, so, double Gemini.
I work a lot. One thing I wrote in 2017 that I needed this morning. So that's why I do a lot of work. But also at MS Creative AF on Instagram. And you can just hit the link in the bio if you want to talk to me. I do free consultations right now, Monday and Tuesday afternoons. Mm-hmm. And Thursdays, I usually have an open day, so I can do longer chats. Mm-hmm. Those are not free, but you go.
Of course. Trust me, if it's that long and free, it's not good. You pay for what you get,
Right. But yeah, I'm email me, follow me wherever you want to follow me at MS Creative Af. Like I said, I'm really working with brands right now who are trying to affect change. So just like the Blackbird Project, they're doing the Monument Project and the Center for the Healing of Racism here in town. And I'm excited about that because that's also what I'm doing. Healing racism.
You're healing racism.
The racism. So one more thing before we jump off, but people say Black people have racism. Black people have effects of racism. They are not racist. Okay?
Yes.
We can only project back what has been given. So
yes.
That's
Yes, that's great. That's what I'm reading the Ibram X. Kendi book, How to Be Anti-Racist, and he talks a little bit about that. Exactly. Wow. Michelle, you are a gift. You got that double Gemini word witch wizardry going on. I love it. And that Taurus, just strength, holding it down, fearless creator energy. Thank you for just sharing what you do so beautifully. Definitely, everyone. I'm gonna link over to some of like your podcast website, just like all the links in your bio for that email newsletter. Yeah, if you are a Black business person with a brand, reach out to her. She will help bring it out to the people that need to get it. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'll be seeing you in the DMs. I think we're always DMing each other around the moons and stuff like that.
And I'm still working on our drop. And I love that it's going to show us right.
Hello. Ooh. I think we froze a little bit. Hello? Can everyone hear me, or I can't hear Michelle? Oh, Mercury retrograde with this technology.